Hello and welcome to another episode on CE Podcast. I'm delighted to host today Mr. Chuck on the show, who is the CEO and co-founder of Selfservit. Basically, it is an organization which is into automation of customer services for dealers as well as OEMs, and they will be also exhibiting their product and services during this upcoming Excon 2023. So, with that context, I welcome Mr. Chuck, and I'm looking forward to this because it's quite unique of what you're doing. So, in the process, I'm going to learn a lot about your product and service. And hopefully, through this conversation, a lot of our target audience from the industry also will benefit out of this. Once again, welcome to our show.
Yeah, good morning. Good morning, Mishra. Pleasure to be here and chatting with you.
Great. Since, as I mentioned, this is a very, very new topic for me, I would want you to start telling about yourself, starting from your early professional career, so that the audience can actually get a context about what you're doing now. Over to you.
Yeah, sure. So myself, Chuck, and I started my career in 91. Did the bachelor's in physics and NIIT. Back then, that's when the whole computer science focus started. I started off in late 80s. So I've been the early entrant, I should say. And then I started my career with Mascon Technical Services, and then I went to US, spent about 6 years there. Back in the internet revolution days, 95 through 2000. So I should say that that's where the bug bit me of entrepreneurship. And so 95 through 2000, I was there, and then had enough of this consulting, contracting. Then I came back, joined a company. I wanted to join a company and grow. So I joined Polaris Software, where I focused on the electronic channels, that is the ATM banking, internet banking, SMS banking back then. Spent about 5-6 years in India through that was the rise of the offshoring wave. So I was part of that wave. I didn't know that there is offshoring wave, but glad to be. I jumped in 2000 and then went on that tide of offshoring. Spent about a couple of years in EMEA, Europe and Middle East, mainly looking at the electronic channels, how companies can self-serve their products and services to customers, and banking and financial services has been I should say, the centrum of this whole advancements in technology and leverage of technology. And then I came back 2008 back to India, and I had enough of this technology delivery. So wanted to share the expertise to companies to how to self-serve their products, whether it is insurance, telecom. So back in 2007-8, that's when I started this company Self-Serve in 2008. Many companies were like in the early days of doing the internet site and banking, and your Airtel site was early. So I saw a lot of opportunity. So we started this Self-Servit company more as an advisory, helping the companies how to put their products and services on the internet, on the mobile, like that. But then made a lot of mistakes during the first few years. Thought that I could do services, but I realized that I can put all the expertise in the electronic channels, the internet, the mobile, into a product. So that's when we started getting into the product journey. Back in 2011, Excon, I should say. So 2011, cutting short, we showcased a field project tracking. So that's the time when Android 2.3 came into the market. So we did a quick prototype of, because every project gets delayed. Even today, if you see, many projects get delayed and there is no discipline in terms of field updates and things like that. So you make a good plan in the office. The EPC companies, they have a beautiful plan, but when it comes to hitting the road running, it was all getting delayed. So we thought, why not we do that, right? So, and mobile is there, so we can solve that problem. Then we went and showed in Excon 2011, that was October 2011, with this small little prototype. Everybody loved it, and everybody said that, boss, we need this product. We want to play with it for 3 months. I look back, there is no product, right? So it's only prototype. And then me and my ex-boss, we were the co-creators of this, K.S. Subramanian. And so that's when the whole creation started, end of 2011. I did realize that you can't build a business by purely through consulting. So we decided to build this product for field project tracking. Then Excon 2011 told us, specifically Sendil Kumar and Krishna Kumar of Schwingstetter told us, me and my partner, that we need exactly the same thing, but in service. So we thought, hey, beautiful, fantastic. So why don't we go and build both, right? So as an entrepreneur, you're always, thinking about, conquering the world, building your potential and widening the canvas. And then it took many years. We realized that you can't do that. So we chose only the field service automation. We thought we can get Schwingstetter in about 3 months' time. Castrol was talking to us. Nothing happened. We launched the right product at the wrong time, 2012, to solve this field problem, capturing the information, pushing that information to create visibility. So that's the start of the journey, 2011, December 15th, to be exact. And then we are about 12 years with this product, MService.
Okay, so you said you started off as a consulting firm in 2007-8, but the
2008,
name of the
yes.
company was same, is it?
Yes.
Okay. So between 2007-8 till about 11, end of 11 or 12, you were into basically the consulting, and then by 2012 you started off with the product as such.
Yes, 2011, yeah, 2012 January we started. And during the first years was, I wanted to build an high-end advisory company because world over, everybody was like trying to do this internet way of connecting to customers, mobile way of connecting to customers. But then we got into a lot of advisory engagements with Noor Islamic Bank, a lot of banks, Lloyds Bank, Barclays Bank. And so I was just taking my bag, running 3 weeks in Switzerland, 2 weeks in London, like that. And generating money was easy, but then there's nothing there. Like you can't. It's not a business, right? The day you stop, it's over.
Hmm.
So on the similar lines, we saw that we try to do something in banking because that's where I spent my 8 years in banking and 8 years in enterprise manufacturing. So we thought that why not we build a product and then take it to all the banks. So we took it to a lot of cooperative banks, prototype, and then you could see even IBM kneeling down, Infosys kneeling down to a smallest of the smallest banks in Maharashtra, for example, right? We realized that, okay, you're not welcomed, meaning that even the biggies are, who are we, like one or two people trying to. Then we kind of got into enterprise vertical, and wow, that the receptiveness that the enterprise vertical had, for first time we realized that we are welcomed and our ideas are so accepted, right? So within the industrial machinery, and that was the excitement. And then since then, even till date, the kind of receptiveness, openness that this industry gives us is phenomenal because it's a very tough industry to bring automation into.
Yeah. So tell us about the first acquisition, so to speak, in the construction equipment industry. Your first customer, and what was the product or service which you gave to them, and how it happened.
Yeah, so we start building this prototype on this prototype called field project tracking. It's called MP track. And then the service was M service. So two names we were, so building that. And then, as I said, we launched the right product when the market crashed, 2012. So every Excon and BOMACon, we were like three of us, two sales guys, one friend, one sales guy, and myself. So we go to Bomacon, Mumbai, and then we had designed one nice card, which is like represents mobile phone. And then we could get the FaceTime from CEOs and all. Almost every OEM gave us time back then. And then the market was crashing, ideas were being consumed. So we were educating literally. We realized that it's a disruptive solution. Business heads are the buyers, and we were educating them. There was no money on the table, so we put all the money, whatever I've earned, and then everything was into this. And then come 3 years down the line, 2014 January or 2013 December Excon, we realized that it's all over, right? So we built this big elephant called MService platform, which does call management, job management, invent everything, right? Because we understand large enterprises. So we built over-engineered, I should say. We had no money, no customer, nothing on the table. Then we said, hey, this elephant, although every OEM needs it, they're not going to buy an elephant. They're going to buy a cat, or a pigeon, right? So we cut that elephant called product into smaller, nimble animals or nimble pieces, and then made kind of a leopard out of it called just manage your calls,
Mm.
field calls, right? The customer calls, only breakdown maintenance, and then maybe a little bit of preventive. So no predictive, no jobs, nothing. Cut workshop, cut it off because we poured so much of money in workshop performance management and all. So we cut that into a nice little cheetah or a cub. Then the moment we did that, we got our first customer in January 2014. That's from a medical equipment dealer, Fuji film dealer in Tamil Nadu. We are a Chennai headquartered company. So we got this first dealer who agreed to pay 1 rupee per customer per month.
Mm.
1 rupee per customer per month. Okay. Now you would think that, hey, 1 rupee is so little, but then he had 1,000 customers, right? So it was working out no, more than 1,000, around 8,000 to 10,000 hospitals. So we were looking at some 20-25K monthly, right? And that's the first win for us in February 2014. That's when we really started seeing first rupee since 2011 December. So it's almost 3.5 years of educating the construction, mining, material handling, engineering, and medical equipments. These are the two verticals that we took as our heartline from day zero.
Mm. Okay. And which means that when you got into this contract, I'm just curious to know, in those days, was there any cloud computing?
Yeah, so cloud was so we are born mobile first and cloud first, Mr. G.
Okay.
So we were born at that time, and we didn't want to take any fixed, nothing fixed assets. Everything is subscription. So we went almost to the extent of renting laptops, right? Everything is subscription because that's the only way you can be nimble, agile. But ultimately, we are not having our laptops hired only 20-30%, but everything is subscription driven. So it was cloud first, mobile first. So we were born when you have all these open source technologies that became a lot more matured, and cloud started happening. So at that time, it was GoDaddy servers to start with, and but it was all cloud and mobile first since the beginning.
Okay. But then, what was I mean, when did you actually got into the construction equipment industry? Which was the customer and what product did you sell?
So the second customer for us was construction equipment. Understanding, deepening our understanding was at the heart of everything that we did. Okay, from the time we did a proof of concept, it was aimed at the industrial machinery where the engineer is only a ITI diploma holder, right? So our first customer was they're not really in construction equipment; they're Multivista Global. They came in second, but then the first customer had issues with respect to engineers were leaving. If you are putting an app on the mobile phone, they think that, hey, you are tracking me, and then you have all kind of non-compliance, and then the owner didn't want to kind of lose people. Back then, that was the biggest challenge. So the second customer was Multivista Global, who were into Kirloskar generators. Then you are pneumatic, and then they were doing the Honeywell and those kind of tin can kind of products, bearings and all. But they were not really in this construction equipment. We had many dealers use it, to the likes of somebody with the Terex. Terex was the first. There were used to be dealers for Terex, right? So we had around 20 to 30 dealers of construction equipment, mining, medical equipment start use it, but 99% of them left. 99% of them were left within first 1.5 2 years because of the fear of losing people. Because we are trying to bell that cat, which is no visibility. What's happening once the engineer goes out of the house, out of the office, you're clueless. What is happening, you don't know. You will only know aftermath, after the damage is done. So the first big customer we had, so we realized that, hey, we are doing a proper enterprise scale platform. We should really put our money in the OEMs. So we decided to spend time only for OEMs, the global businesses having $1 billion plus global revenues, right? So then we started marketing to them from day zero. But there is always there used to be one big problem, that is, the dealer always used to think back then the OEM will give me a system. OEM used to think that it is something to do with your efficiency, dealer partner. You have to buy. Now we are trying to solve a problem connecting these two, right? So it's still very tough. Even today, I would say, even though with this, about 18, 20 customers, it's still very tough to do that balancing act. And that is one reason why OEMs were not buying, because they think that, okay, dealer has to buy. Why should I give? Right? Like JCB, if you take JCB gave a system, DBMS back then. I did a lot of work with JCB dealers, Volvo dealers. Didn't leave any dealer of any construction equipment. But we got caught in between, that the OEM thinks that only software should come from US or different countries globally, or the dealer expects that upar se aayega. It kind of fall from the sky.
Okay. So now going on to the next one, you mentioned that you focused on big OEMs with $1 billion plus revenue. So what was the first big win for you in those big OEMs?
So we were going and then communicating that, hey, you can manage your field force with this field service piece called MService back then, right? Meaning field service was the only focus at that time. And OEMs, all the OEMs have a direct system either from SAP or a Salesforce or some system, because licenses were procured globally. Okay. But the problem came giving to dealers. The problem comes giving to dealers because you don't know how many users are there. This
And
market,
these licenses are quite expensive as well.
one is expensive and it goes up and down. People leave, people come in, their knowledge is up and down and all, right? So the first customer we win for us was Atlas Copco.
Okay.
The big one, right? So the really big one, though every OEM we are talking, we still talk to Volvo, we still talk to JCB, but we confident that we will be able to add value to them. But the first one was Atlas Copco. They were looking to give a dealer system, right? And then what we proposed was that, look, if you go the JCB route, if you go the other global OEM route, you can give a system in the office. And then after 5 years, you will give mobility. Here we will give you complete mobility and then fill any gaps you have in the office system.
Good one. That's a nice approach. So
It's
you're going bottom up.
Outside in, yes, outside in. So we did that, and then the Atlas Copco borewell compressor division, which were doing road equipment, borewell compressors, They were doing handheld tools, light compaction concrete, all in one division. That was like a godsend, I should say, right? But we are a small company, so you could be closed down. So customer had their own, views, because it's a global enterprise, high, global security and all of that. But that two step to one step really worked well. Number one. Number two, we said, yes, dealers may not use it, so all your investment could go down the drain. Why don't we do per dealer per month pricing?
Fantastic. Hmm.
Why? Because they had 50, 60 dealers or 40, 50 dealers, right? Instead of we kind of coming up with this brilliant thought, we thought, hey, it adds a lot of value to the customer. So why not we check with the general manager? We just put a point that, sir, if you do per dealer per month, a small amount, right? He said, fantastic. That will work because I know how many dealers I've got. I can pass on this cost to the dealer. It's anyway one, dinner at the five-star hotel. It doesn't cost. So that actually opened up the space, I should say,
Hmm.
within the dealer automation.
So basically, you went, one first step was that you went from bottom up or outside in. And the second approach was you actually looked at the implementation part of it in a slow process rather than trying to implement completely 100%. I mean, those two were the two important strategies.
No, we went for the so one that what you're saying is right. We always go from outside in. Means what is the interaction between the customer and your field technician? That's outside your enterprise, right? Outside of the four walls of your enterprise.
Hmm.
We went and automated that. So that is zero visibility. Back then and even now, it's zero visibility for
Hmm.
almost 60% of the OEMs, right?
Yeah.
That is the first thing. The second thing was how consumable this whole pricing is for our customer. That was the third thing. And the second thing, and the third thing was everybody should use it,
Hmm. Then
because
only it will become efficient.
then only full visibility will come. No,
Hmm. Hmm.
these are the three key pillars of opening up the OEM accounts for us.
Fantastic. So, Atlas Copco, they use this. What's it? The product they use is MService only. MServ or what?
Yeah, so the product platform is called MService.
Hmm.
It's basically the entire customer relationship on mobile. That's what MService stands for, right?
Hmm.
And by virtue of naming it as MService, people always thought, even now they think that it is deep service, right?
Hmm.
Like Salesforce, you take Salesforce, everybody thinks it has everything to do with sales.
Hmm.
They do have a service cloud. Similarly, we go deep in service, customer relationship, and we also do sales. So from a naming point of view, so M-Service is a software platform, and initial customers we deployed as M-Service only. Okay,
Okay.
but these days, what we are doing is for global accounts, we are deploying the platform with their name. So if you
Hmm.
take, for example, you take Ligong, we do
Hmm.
My Ligong. So it powered by M Service.
Ah, okay. So you are on the back end, but on the front end, it is their branding.
Correct. Their branding. Because why this is very critical is because on two counts. One, once it's closer to my heart, I develop a lot of emotional attachment to it, right?
Correct.
I refer to it. It's adding a lot of value in my dealer engagement, customer engagement, OEM engagement, right? So that when I relate, we would want it to be related with my name, meaning
Hmm.
each OEM's name, right? That's one. Second, it is also goes to the customer hand. When it goes into the hands of the customer, we want customer to see my Hitachi or my Sani or my compressor or things like that. So
Hmm. Hmm.
today our strategy is to, for every account who wants to white label it, we say you white label in your name, powered by M Service. So
Hmm.
almost like M Service has started off being a pure play field service, not white labelable. if you know what I mean,
Yeah.
to a group of applications as a platform where we white label for OEMs so that they're able to extend to with their name, both in India and other countries. For mid-size accounts, they can use MService app and portal. For small accounts, we do mservice.net, which is a quick download and use, pay a little amount, start using it, start benefiting from it. So that's how it kind of evolved into three uh, avenues, I should say.
Yeah. So basically, you have a product or a solution for every need in terms of the value as well as in terms of the scale, depending on how you want it. Okay, great. So now let us look at what are the other big global OEMs which have been part of your service, and have you been able to expand beyond the geographical limits of India? And how many of them are like that? If you can take us through that.
Sure, sure. So having done a lot of work with outside India and my own self, I'm saying, I was more confident that I can win customers from Middle East.
Mm.
Okay, so the first, I should say, adventure was after getting 20 dealers in India 2013. I thought, okay, we should really spend time in Dubai. So we invested quite a bit in Dubai and Qatar markets because it's well recognized in terms of automation within the
Mm.
dealers field and all. And then we realized that no, you can't be in India and then sell in Dubai. So better to buck the growth, back it up by going to the OEMs rather than going to the dealers. So that's when the whole, we put a full focus on India as a market. And then for the last 8 years, we have done work only on India OEMs, like land and expand. So you get into one division, go deeper within the equipment lifecycle canvas, whether it is a dealer automation, customer automation, our own team, their own team automation in terms of service, spares, and machine sales. Go deep in one division and go to multiple divisions.
Mm.
So like that, we have around, as of today, we have around 20 manufacturers using the platform for the last anywhere from 3 to 7 years, 3 to 8 years within India cluster, India, Nepal, Bhutan, Sri Lanka, Bangladesh kind of cluster, whichever countries comes under India management. And then last couple of years, we've had rollouts in Southeast Asia for Lugong, about 6, 7 countries in their local language to the dealers of Lugong. Then in Malaysia, we did a rollout for the industrial air compressors dealers for that OEM, right? So OEM is buying it and they're saying, look, you implement whatever you have done, the same model, you go and replicate in these countries. So likewise, we've covered about 10 countries in total as of date, but this is happening last 3 years. During the COVID times, we grew more than 100%. We were sitting in here and rolling out in Vietnam, rolling out in Indonesia. So it was that's how we kind of. So today we are present in about 10 countries in terms of implementing MService platform for sales, service, and spares. That piece.
Fantastic. So, how big is your organization now in terms of number of employees? And also, if you want to share your numbers, I know probably you're a privately held company, so if you're open to talk about it, it will be great.
Yeah, sure. So we focus only on India. So today, 80%, it used to be 100%. So today, about 80% comes from India. We are growing the international revenue quite fast. So all of it is only product revenue. It's called SaaS, software as a service, right?
Hmm.
So we are focused on the equipment vertical. So we are a vertical SaaS product company. MService platform is going into this equipment vertical. That's kind of a canvas. And within this canvas, you've got so many verticals, right? So many equipment categories. We only barely scratch the surface for India cluster and few countries. and only 3-4 verticals or 4-5 verticals. So from a financial standpoint, we rely 100% on the use and pay model, pay and use model rather. That's the software as a service SaaS model. So we rely 100% on it. So we're doing something like about 4 crores of annual recurring revenue. So it's called ARR in the software SaaS world. So we do a 4 crore ARR, and that grows by about 60 to 100% year on year. That's the kind of growth that we were having. The base was small. In terms of our team, we are about 45, 50 people. We cannot, get into the mode of raise the cost, because the margins in the developing markets or even developed markets per se are very low in this industry. The margins are very thin, and then when it gets split to dealers and all of that, no? Today every OEM manufacturing every kind of machines. If you see one lighter side of this is that you see insects in different forms, right? Different shapes. Right? So you see the competitiveness is also kind of a little bit becoming a challenge. So every OEM is manufacturing every kind of equipment. Isn't it? So from that perspective, when we implement for one customer, we are able to go deeper and wider. So our cost base cannot just go up. So every cost automation that gives us better product, faster time to market, that we pass on from day one to the customers. How can you do a per dealer per month of, let's say, X rupees, and you can't expect that X rupees to increase 10% year on year, right?
Yes,
so
that's a very difficult one.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. So about 45 people we have today.
And are you also playing as an implementation partner to the big software companies, or you are focusing mainly into your own product? Because that also is a big market.
Which one?
The implementation of various automation platforms. Of course, the market is actually quite fragmented. It is actually serviced by the big consulting firms also, and also on the lower end, the smaller players. So you are not into that.
It took 5 years for us to gain focus on only one highway, that is equipment, and then only do product. So we do only product. We don't do any projects. We don't go and those guys, those are the like side streets calling. Okay, you come here. I know your difficulties and challenges. So we stuck to that, right? So we only do MService product within the equipment canvas. We don't want to leave any equipment behind. We want to put a stamp for every equipment with MService to make that machine live longer, make that person touching that machine productive, satisfied, and all. So product is the only that's 100% for us.
Okay. So what is your plans for 2023 Excon? I know it's a great opportunity for you to further expand your kitty of 20 global players to even bigger numbers. I'm sure one of that would be top of your agenda, but take us through your plan of what you intend to do in 2023 Excon in Bangalore.
Yeah, sure. Thanks. If you see any stall in any equipment exhibition is a prospect.
Yes.
That's like, you love fruits, and then you see you are in a fruit market all the time, right? And Excon is such a large Excon, BOMACon, and those are the two exhibitions that we kind of started with, right? So every exhibition we are present, and if you see the buying cycle of our platform has got a lot of impediments, a lot of hurdles, right? So they try the global system, they try something, they think that they will develop something because software is too soft in the sense I would want my son and daughter to get a 24, 25 lakhs starting salary, but spending 50,000 per month would be a challenge, right? So we're still in that even after 30 years of software and automation and all, the buying cycle has not changed much. So that
Mm,
means we still have to deal with the 4-year buying cycle, 6-year buying cycle, try to crash that down to 1-year buying cycle, right? So what does that mean? It means that you got to be present, you got to be relevant, you got to be
mm,
visible, you got to be relevant. So being in Excon and being in Boma is a by default one has to do. One, everybody is a prospect for us because we are dealing with machinery and machine canvas, right? So Excon 2023 in particular, uh, what we have also as a product recognized 3 years, last 2, 3 years, that we are the king of context or the queen of the machine context, whether it is service, commissioning, warranty service, parts recommendation, how do you connect those dealer claims or customer interacting, operator logs, all those things. We are very good in that. We saw that conversation is really becoming sharper, with Teams conversation, with WhatsApp and all those things. So these guys don't have context. So they are coming into setting a machine context, right? So we have a significant advantage with the context with this, with our customers and a mind share of a larger prospect base. So we moved into conversation. So all our interactions now, whether it is customer initiating something, asking for something, dealer responding it, or OEM approving it, all of that we moved into conversation, which means a
mm,
chat based front end which understands the context of
mm,
a warranty claim, understand the context of a breakdown, machine working with problem. So all that context we kind of transformed last 2, 3 years into conversational. So in 2023 XCon, we are looking at showcasing that innovation of how do you engage a WhatsApp, uh, connect WhatsApp into this context.
mm,
WhatsApp by itself, you can go and then do promotion and all, but when it comes to transactions, right, when it comes to giving a service report on WhatsApp, right, so that requires our platform to understand what is conversation.
mm,
So we are going to show this innovation. So every XCon, BOMACon, we do show these innovations because your buying cycle is very, very long, right? You're not in the trying to crash that into a sale, but you are trying to crash the entire timeline.
mm,
So from that perspective, 2023 XCon is going to be, showcasing those arrowheads, those smaller innovations which large customer to small customer can easily consume, quickly
okay.
consume, because you can go and talk about all transaction platform and all, but that would be very difficult to. It's almost like taking a buffet when you have only 5 minutes, right?
Mm,
So we realized that in last two editions of XCon and last two editions of BOMACon, we are only taking those innovations that they can consume, digest it, and then I love it. So let me consume a little bit more. So kind of broke that, like it's almost like that elephant cutting off to a cub. The whole thing is available for the large OEM to start off, but we recommend start small. A conversational one on a lead generation or a service through WhatsApp or direct conversation with your own app,
mm,
or you go on a full field automation, give an app to your customer. So different scenarios exist, so depending upon what they like, we are able to. So the plan for 2023 in summary is to showcase these innovations to our own existing customers, around 5 6 OEMs who are in outdoor or customers of MService for the last
mm,
3 to 6 years. So you can see 10 years of participation, we have 6 OEMs, right? A lot of hard work, right? And then we don't expect that, okay, many OEMs will sign up just in XCon, but we want to kind of be there, show that
mm,
innovation. Can they consume a little bit this time? So that's the kind of an approach that we have for XCon.
okay. Yeah, I know. I mean, these are long-term investments in terms of implementing any process or idea. Uh, and it has got a long-term implication also, in the sense, once you adopt a system, it's difficult to get out of that. So such a system or process is always time taking in terms of implementation.
Yes.
And at the same time, I think data is going to be more and more important as we go along. I mean, data is supposed to be the new gold, or the new currency, so to speak. And your platform is actually trying to capture the most critical information into a perceptible data. I think that's exactly what you're trying to do through your
Correct.
system. So I'm sure most of the big OEMs, as well as other smaller players, I mean, even if they are individual dealers and things like that, everybody should be looking at in terms of investing into how to protect data, or how to create understandable data, which is more meaningful, and which can actually drive the business
True.
into further growth. So I'm quite confident that you also will have a lot of meaningful conversations in the next few days of, I mean, the during the Excon days.
Yeah, so we deal with, as a platform, we pull data that is not captured. So we
Mm.
started our life capturing the field technician performance, customer satisfaction live, for each and every activity. So this was the data that the SAPs, Oracles, the Salesforce, they didn't have. The global guys didn't have. So this is the data that is very critical for, let's say, any business, more so in the developing markets and more so in India, right? So that's the field data that we were bringing into on the platter, on the plate, right? Second, we were bringing the so-called unstructured data, which is all the machine parameters, right? So when I attend an excavator, I am capturing several parameters on my paper report, right? This we call it as unstructured data, but it is very structured for the OEM, very structured for the dealer. So if you see all the papers flying around, we are cutting that paper through structuring that unstructured data, capture it, right? Second data.
Mm.
The third data we are capturing with conversation is the messages, the message that the customer is sending, the message we are sending. So we are dealing with three data sets that are highly valuable and highly sensitive too, right? But as you rightly said, to make meaning out of a structured data is much more easier. To make meaning out of the unstructured data is much more difficult, and it is
Yes.
not available in a consumable form. To make sense out of the interaction information, the chat messages, the feedback, the email response, the those elements are even more difficult, right?
Yes.
So we are trying to kind of put all these three into a valuable source for the management. So in terms of how do we protect it, right? So for each implementation, we take the system, put it on their cloud server, or we give exclusively for every customer, right? So the confidentiality, all that is taken care of. And then that is available on their cloud. So it's all well protected. So that's
Mm.
on the data protection part that you're talking about. But when it comes to how do I make a business metrics out of it? So MService, we give around 60 to 80 metrics in each sub area. And on top of that, let's say a JCV or a swing stator would want to have call out different KPIs, right?
Mm.
Specific to concrete, specific to, let's say, the scissor lifts product, right? So they do have a Power BI, different analytic engines, where we kind of pump this data into their analytics platform. So that's how we take care of out of the box KPIs that you sign up MService, you get all these KPIs immediately, right? So you don't have to explain, oh, I need a mean time to repair, mean time to respond, mean time between failures, productivity, all of that, net promoter score. So these are all the out of the box things we give. But on top of that, a global OEM would want their appetite is very large, and that keeps growing. And how do you remain software as a service, give little price, but then be valuable and not bleed? Is a
Mm.
is a kind of
It's a
a
very tight
continuous.
balance.
Yeah, it is.
Mm. Okay.
But this is how we are. This is what we are giving, three data sets. That's how we bring it to for data protection for the customers, and then extend that into their own analytic engines. The data lake, the AI ML companies are also trying out some machine learning models. We are also having our machine learning models proof of concept we are doing, and then so that putting it in the right context is important. So when there's a new technology, it's very easy to kind of say that I'll use that technology, but we got to put that in the context. So we do that in our R&D and then take the AI ML use cases to our OEM customers and others.
Yeah, I did have a look at your slides, and what is interesting is that over the years, you have been evolving as a product, as an organization, using the different technologies throughout. And I'm sure this Chat GPT and other things will further enhance the capabilities what you're creating from your product and service.
So what is happening in a more non-technical terms? So you build an elephant, then you cut it down to a cat or a cheetah, right? Then what happened? That was running very well. It's all within that body, right? One body, right? What's happening now is that you're unboxing that, unboxing to accept a WhatsApp interaction, right? Unboxing to have some other system consume this, unboxing this so that customer who's buying machinery, they can also share data, share information. So what is happening is the whole unboxing kind of open up. So we were closed as a small running, smaller, more nimble animal. Now the MService platform is moving from there to opening up to a Telegram, opening up to a WhatsApp, opening up our own conversational engine, opening up to creating some machine cloud where people can scan QR and then get the warranty information. So that's one of the things that we are showing in Excon. That is the warranty card online. So you don't have to download anybody's app. If you have got like as a buyer of machines, which also we cater to, you can stick a QR code, you scan it, you can see the minimal information about the machine. You put in your number, do a OTP, then you can see whether the machine is in warranty, the life, all of it. And this would be very interesting for OEMs as well as buyers of machinery. So I'm just
This is
giving one.
very interesting. This is very interesting. Only I'm wondering how you're going to implement this process, because uh, I think in India, if you look at it, at least 1 million plus used machines are there. And every year we are probably adding about 1 lakh plus machines into the market. The concept is fantastic. How you're going to implement is something which I'm looking forward to.
Yeah, just 2 points on that. So we this idea has been there for about 5 6 years
Okay.
to create a machine cloud. We call it Yantram. The word Yantram means equipment in Sanskrit. So we created a Yantram cloud, but there you can't go and sell Yantram cloud to one customer, right? It's almost like a cloud there. You got machines coming in, and then OEMs may not share information. Dealer think that this is all my customer, my machine. Customer thinks that hey, these machines are mine, right? Everybody is saying that this is mine, right? So it was that time for that Yantram was too early. So coming to your implementation, so we're not looking to sell this to every customer and implement it. Instead, we are going to launch a Yantram cloud where OEMs can decide that if they want to make the warranty information available freely to their customers on their mobile number, then it's available.
Mm.
Okay, it's almost like Amazon.in where it's available. If I want to put my storefront on Amazon, I sign up for it.
Mm. So what's the benefit the OEM will get if they put this data on your Yantram? life?
Yeah. So today, about for example, all OEMs put together, they are selling about 20,000 machines a year. Let's say, for example, right?
I mean, in construction equipment, it is a 1 lakh plus.
1
Right?
lakh plus. So what OEMs get is they sign up for this. So every time they commission a machine, they will push this information gets pushed into Yantram cloud. So you have a warranty envelope, you have a warranty document, right? With a universal number of that machine serial number, customer, uh, their contact number, dealer, their contact number, how long this warranty is valid, what it covers, what it doesn't.
Mm.
Okay. This information, OEM, if they agree, this can be pushed to Yantram cloud and it's available. So they will stick a QR, give it part of the installation booklet.
Mm.
Okay. I am the engineer installing, let's say, a Liebherr machine, right? So I am going and sticking this QR on that Liebherr machine, and that's it. So then what happens? You are the owner of that Liebherr excavator, and all you're doing is you're not downloading my Liebherr application, which
Mm.
you could for an more deeper interactions, but you just want to know, is this machine covered under warranty or something else? So you scan that, and you don't have to download anything. So it will straight away show you, okay, Mr. This machine is of this model, this brand. That's it. Then you want to know more information. Then you give your OTP. Then what happens? It will show more details. So
Mm.
that's what Liber will allow you to see if you authenticate yourselves,
Mm. Mm.
right?
Mm.
So what is the value for OEM is that those OEMs who are, because every OEM is trying to do an app and then the portal and all those things, but it has its own life cycle, right?
Mm. Mm.
They can choose MService or some other platform. Whichever platform they choose, they can sign up for this. And then the warranty information alone comes here. And then straight away it becomes accessible to the dealer, to the customer by just a quick QR scan. They'll be able to see it. No apps downloaded, nothing.
Right. It is like a information available which is accessible and relevant for all the stakeholders. That's exactly what you're trying to do.
Yeah, it's basically
Mm.
your e-warranty card, digital warranty card.
Right, right. Okay, okay. Great. And also, would you like to talk about other industries? I had the opportunity to look at your profile, and you have been also servicing the other industries as well, apart from the construction equipment. So, would you like to briefly talk about that?
Yeah, this trigger came after spending 3 years in construction, mining, metal handling, the 12, 13, 14. Zero customers, everybody, about 50 OEMs know about M service, but zero customers, zero money. So we said enough is enough. So let's look at any equipment, right? Otherwise, you're going to be dead, right? So that's when we started looking at every equipment. That's when we signed up Multivista, who doesn't have anything to do with construction mining, right? So we entered by virtue of that. We are now catering to about 7, 8 verticals. So we are live for Delavel in the dairy farm equipments.
Mm.
Then we are live for ACG within the pharma. They're one of the leaders for the pharma equipment from powder to capsule form. We're live there. We're live for rice milling major Satake, which is a Japanese rice milling equipments. We're live for 4 compressor customers. They take away 60% of compressor market in India, right? Road equipments, we are live for a mining, then, the rollers and obviously the excavators and all, right? Generators, we are live. So these various industries that we have gotten into, the focus, the real focus remained on this belt: construction, mining, metal handling, and
Mm.
utilities. Utilities where we have compressor, quite good solution for air compressors, borewell compressors. But barring that, the construction mining has been at the heart. So we're almost like, you can say, which is the other platform that is field focus in this vertical. We are one of the, you will see one of the top top 2 or top 3.
Fantastic. Great. I think it is very, very fascinating. It's something which is new for me also to learn, and wishing you a lot of good sales and closure of sales rather during the Excon 2023. I'm sure this conversation will reach out to many of the target audience in the construction equipment field, and they will be eager to discuss with you. On the show notes, we will share your contact details as well as the details of your firm, so that anybody interested, they can actually reach out to you directly. And looking forward to also meeting you in person during Excon 2023. And thank you so much for investing your time today with us and talking through about your organization and your plans for 2023 Excon.
Yeah, it's been pleasure interacting with you, Mr. Raji. And yeah, we've been discussing, we've been kind of chatting for the last 1.5, 2 years. But it's been really nice to share our journey and then share what we're doing and how we are able to leverage the Excon platform and the other platforms that are available. Thanks a lot, and it's looking forward to seeing you.
Thank you so much, and see you in Bangalore.
All right. Yeah. Thank you.